Well,
I think you need
I don't
to
know. We
change your
can
whole
figure it out.
mindset.
We can figure it out.
We're going to start strong because we always do. That's never been a problem. There's not been a single episode we've had so far where we haven't just like,
Kick the door down.
boom,
Guns
the Glory
waving.
Friends, we're here. That wasn't very good.
It's like the notorious B.I.G.
All right,
song.
calm down, Laura.
Sorry.
Kick in the door. Oh,
That's enough of that.
yeah. We're doing it again.
Welcome to the Glory Friends podcast.
Woo!
This is where the theme song would start playing.
Yeah, we need a theme. We need a theme song.
Laura said she wants to play drums.
Yeah, I'll play drums on a theme song. I'll even
And-
sing on a theme song. I'll do that.
I've heard Matt playing bass not plugged into anything. He sounds like he knows what he's doing. We could do a drum and bass.
I think you have to know what you're doing to play bass not plugged into anything because that sounds so
It
thankless.
just sounds like clicking.
Yeah, it just sounds like it just would not be very reinforcing
I
at
hear-
all. Like you'd just be like,
Fast clicking.
It's like two dogs like clacking at each other.
I thought you were going to say fucking.
No.
neither of those examples make any sense to me at all.
Your dogs don't do that? My dogs, they clack their teeth at each other
Oh,
constantly.
when they're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
I didn't know you made up a term for it, though.
What?
Clacking.
I mean, that's the sound it makes. It's like clack, 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 right? Like
That is the sound it makes. I get it. I thought you meant like that was also like one of those things like somehow related to playing the bass guitar. But I'm on board now. The sound of playing an unplugged in bass guitar is the same as dog's teeth clacking.
yes.
Sounds
That's
like
just
clacking.
true. That's a true
See, we
thing.
got there. We made it. We made the trip.
Yep. You're welcome, everybody listening.
The word clacking made me want to ask you guys. I don't know what fracking is.
Isn't that when you dig for oil or something?
Is it?
Yeah, I think
don't
so.
know. Why don't they just call it digging for oil?
It's not oil. Fracking is digging for natural gases.
Ah.
What is bad about
Our gingineer just shook his head no. So I think maybe everyone is
it?
wrong.
You have a microphone, Ginger.
Yeah.
What is fracking?
What is fracking, expert?
You fucking dork.
Fracking is digging for natural gas and with water.
I was going to say that's why it's bad, because it
Yeah.
takes up a lot of water.
It goes back
Oh.
into the drinking water, and a lot of natural gas is going into people's faucets to the point where,
The politicians have already proven they don't give a fuck what kind of water.
No, no.
That is so true.
and you can see footage of people taking their lighter to a water faucet.
Yeah, that I've totally seen. I didn't realize it's because of the fact that it's a water filtration system, but I was totally right about the fucking natural gas extraction. Thank you very much.
You're
God
welcome.
damn it. I listen to NPR every
So
motherfucking
fracking,
day.
so fracking is a bad thing then.
Yeah.
Yes, fracking
How
is a bad
do
thing.
people justify it if it's fucking up water? Like, how do people?
Because we need that energy, dog.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, and it's big energy companies who are doing this. So, it's all about making energy companies richer.
Well,
We're
you know-
all going to be
Which is
blacklisted for
what
talking
we
about
should
fracking.
be
Well,
doing.
Enron had all those secret documents leaked, I think in early 2000s or late 90s or something, where they in the documents they talk about knowingly suppressing evidence of global warming.
You had to make this about global warming. Just kidding, it is. Totally is.
Or was it even earlier than that, wasn't it? I think that was the 70s actually when that
Well,
came
Enron
out.
wasn't around that long. Was it?
It was or not Enron, I'm sorry, Exxon.
Exxon.
I'm thinking Exxon.
You're confusing your
I'm confusing.
conspiracies.
I'm confusing my evil empire corporations.
That start with the letter E.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by evil empire corporations that start with the letter E.
I want to start a business called Evil Empire Corporation.
We're sponsored by Enron.
They went out of business, but we have one of their coffee mugs.
We have a mouse pad.
Yep, this says Enron on it. It's
This
classic.
podcast is sponsored by fracking. Flammable drinking water. It's what you need.
Which is caused by natural gas extraction. I'm not bitter. It's fine.
Your reaction to him starting his explanation with exactly what you just said, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Being mansplained on my own podcast. I just found a quarter. I'm keeping it.
Oh, but I just started a change cup. It's the one with.
I'm proud of you. When I lived here, this place was littered with change, which, as somebody who once had a job throwing away the things of people who had been evicted that they left behind, it's just not a good sign when there's change everywhere.
It's not a good sign. Why?
No, collect that change. I don't know. To me, it just is a sign that things are not as orderly in that person's life as they could be. Because all of these houses, these people left everything, and these houses were all littered with change. And I just found that fascinating.
It's a sign of wastefulness.
I have change all over. It falls out of my pockets when I lay down, and I just I leave it. And it's like, I used to have my little brother. Like I would tell him to clean my room, and like all the change he found he could keep. And he's like, I go, what'd you have? He's like $15. Like,
wow.
I remember when I was a kid, we would go to like Metro Beach, like on Memorial, like the big holidays or whatever.
Yeah.
And we'd go to the pool, and me and my cousins would just swim around the bottom of the pool picking up change all day, because like everybody would have change in their pockets.
And touching dicks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not.
Is that what
I mean, we were kids.
I have a funny story.
Stop talking, Alex.
Well,
Ray has a funny story.
Well, but I'll forget about it. The touching dicks thing. I went to a Halloween party last night with my girlfriend. It's her best friend, and they live in Ferndale. And her husband, they were talking about like this girl, and he's like, oh yeah, and they kept referencing this phrase. He kept saying, I accidentally touched his balls. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And her husband goes in this little thing, opens a drawer, and he's like, it was like the beginning of a Law and Order episode. Like he was pretty drunk. He's got a diary in his hand. He's like, 9 years ago, we moved into this house. In the garage, there was a dresser. Inside that dresser was this diary.
Whoa.
So it's this whole fucking diary. It covers like 6 years of this girl's life.
Oh my gosh.
And they were just laughing about, and like they have pages dog-eared where like there's funny things in it. And he was just like laughing about, like, he's like, this girl is the most boring person that has ever fucking lived. And like there's one page where she talks about swimming with a boy, and like she accidentally touched his balls in the water. I'm like, how do you, like, I can see accidentally touching a dick, but you gotta go underneath that. Like, how do you accidentally touch balls? Like, it's like, I think it's pretty deliberate. I think she purposely touched that guy's balls.
I feel like that question can only be asked to Alex. Honestly, I don't know.
They were swimming, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, were they just like kind of like leisurely floating along, or were they like?
I wasn't there. It happened in 1986.
Oh, but you didn't. I thought you read the diary. I
mean, just said I accidentally touched. I think his name was Jeff.
Jeff. I mean, I could see how it could maybe happen, like if one person's like underwater and they're like messing, like they're frolicking around or whatever, and like you try to reach up and like grab his leg or something, and you grab his balls instead.
Sounds like you've done that before.
Maybe.
You're like, whoops.
Maybe one time on vacation in Myrtle Beach.
She was like talking about the guy she went to prom with, and like her prom picture was in the dresser too, and it was weird because. And it's like totally from like 1988. And it was weird because someone had very obviously cut her head off the picture. Like they were mad that she went to this prom with this guy, and then she taped her face back on.
Wow.
Because like you can see the cut comes all the way down the top of the picture. Then it just goes right around her head.
That is fascinating.
And then she taped it back together and then put it in the frame.
That is amazing. That's
so they have like this whole story. Like they think her younger, because there's stuff about her younger sister. They're only a couple years apart, and they fought a lot. And it's
that's
in the
a
diary.
good. There you
and
go.
They think the younger sister actually liked that guy, and she went to prom with him. And she's like, so they think at one point, because it's like a perfect circle. So they think at one point. She cut her head out and then put her head on. So it looked like she went to prom with them. And then this girl found it and then took that out and then put her head back in the picture.
Oh, teenage girls. That's amazing.
Jesus Christ. That sounds like the prequel to Misery.
And she's like got a page in there where she was like talking about being bullied, and like this one girl said she had a big nose. And I was like, that's mean. And then I saw the prom picture and I was like, that girl's right. She has a huge fucking nose.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I never kept a diary. Not even at the begging of my therapist.
Yeah.
Just never. I don't know. I just can't do it. I've certainly written stuff and I like to write and I would consider myself a good writer, but I've never been like today I did this. Like I just can't.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it seems weird. Like I could never do that.
I wanted to be that person. I remember my mom bought me a little diary when I was really young, like for Christmas. It had a little lock on it and everything. And I was just like, oh, this is amazing. I could write. And I remember trying it like for a few days and then just being like, who fucking cares what I had for breakfast? And it's basically still how I care about like social media.
I had cereal. Blah,
And I think
blah,
social
blah.
media has replaced diaries.
I was gonna say. I mean,
to a
I
lot
think
of
most
ways,
people
yeah.
use Facebook that way, right? Like,
Yeah, and I don't know. I just feel creepy doing that, so I don't want anyone to know anything about my life anymore. It's basically what it boils down to.
Ellie, my daughter, like she didn't have a diary, but she had this really cool notebook where she had to write a short story every day, and it was kind of like doing Stamprov. Like it gave you the first line, and then like you had to write a story, like
Oh yeah,
finishing that.
I could even get into that probably.
Yeah, and she was doing it every day. Like it was, I mean, it burned up in the fire, but
Yeah,
she was doing it. I was thinking about getting her another one because that kid reads like
that's awesome.
crazy. Reads and writes
I read a lot
stuff.
when I was a little kid.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't really. It's funny. Like I don't. Like I'm glad that she's reading, so I don't really restrict what it is, because like when the house fire happened, everybody was donating clothes, and at one point, like they had so many clothes, like they didn't know what to do with some of them.
Yeah, for sure.
And like Ellie was like, she's like, we would go to like thrift stores and stuff, and she's like, I don't even want to look at clothes. I have so many clothes. I'm like, well, what are you not getting? She's like, I haven't gotten any books. So we just started buying like books at thrift stores, and like, and I had a friend give a couple books, like she likes a lot of horror and like true crime and stuff.
Oh.
So she like gave me this encyclopedia on serial killers, and I was like, I don't know if I should let her have it, but I'm like, I was like interested in serial killers at a pretty young age, and like I'm not like
not that fucked up.
yeah. I'm not
I actually
killing
remember
anybody.
once for Halloween telling my parents that I wanted to be a serial killer. And I didn't really know what that meant. I just knew it was something really scary, So I had no real idea, but I remember that freaked them the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because I remember them like whisper talking about it, and then like coming back to ask me if I knew what that meant.
Yeah.
And then I was so mortified because I was just like, what did I accidentally just ask to be for Halloween?
What's a serial killer?
I don't know and I probably ended up being a rich lady that year. I was a rich lady in fourth grade.
So a serial killer.
Yeah. That's what it was for Halloween. Speaking of Halloween, you talked about a Halloween story a couple episodes ago, but like what were some of your favorite Halloween costumes growing up?
My absolute favorite to this day was I really was into horror movies at a young age, and I loved like all the Nightmare on Elm Street, and I wanted to be Freddy. And they got me like, my parents like really went out, like I didn't want, like there was a lot of shitty makeup kits, and like everyone would get those. It's just like they put oatmeal on their face, like they didn't look like. So my parents got like the latex Freddy mask, looked just like them, but when I put it on, it's like a big mask, and I'm like, fuck. Like I was really like, because when I have something in my head and I think I'm gonna look just like that person, like it's gotta be. So I just kept complaining that the mask was too loose. So my fucking dad just cinched it with his hand and duct tape. I almost suffocated. Like it was so fucking hot, and I couldn't take it. I wore it to school. So this fucking mask is duct tape, like skin tight to my fucking head. I can't take it off. So I'm dressed up like Freddy. I had the fucking glove and everything. Also, another nice touch was in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Freddy had a glove that was syringes.
Yeah, the syringes.
And he like stabbed this girl like in the arm with the syringes.
He gave her AIDS.
Yeah.
Of course, it was the 90s, right?
My aunt was diabetic. So she made me a glove with her insulin syringes.
Yes.
And I fucking I had one glove of syringes and one glove of plastic knives, and I wore them both to school.
Yeah. You're like, no, both.
And she was like, I gotta take the needles off. And I'm like, no, don't take the needles off. And she's like, you can't wear needles. Like, you gotta take the needles off.
Ray's just sticking kids at school all day. Just
I was like, all right, fine. Like,
Insulin jolt. Insulin.
yeah.
Oh,
That was
boy.
my favorite fucking costume. I was so my hair was wet with sweat when I came
Oh,
home.
God.
6 hours of school, like a latex
you
fucking
didn't
mask.
take it off once.
I
the entire-
couldn't, dude.
Oh
He
my
duct taped
God.
it. I couldn't get the duct tape off or nothing.
I'm so glad I asked this question.
Like, he just my dad's big fucking hand. This like, my dad's hands look like fucking cinder blocks. He just fucking grabbed it and just.
I would have lost my
Duct tape.
mind. I wouldn't.
But I knew how fucking sweet I looked, so I was like, I'm toughing it out.
I remember once during trick-or-treating as a young kid, and this was like in the day where your costume was like basically like a plastic dress with print on it and a mask that had like one little wire, like those kind that came in a box.
Kmart, like
yeah.
Kmart. I when Halloween came out and like it was about to be Halloween, you go to Kmart and it was just like the aisle of fucking costumes.
I loved
That's-
that.
Yes.
That's all. Those were all the costumes I got when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
I was like Bugs Bunny one year. I was like, I think I was Elf another year.
I had a Batman costume like that, like the Super Friends Batman was like royal blue and gray, like the cartoon Batman. I had that one.
I ordered a black like a Michael Keaton Batman costume.
Yeah.
Out of this, I think it was like a video game, like a Game Pro magazine or something like
I
that.
was thinking international mail.
No. I can't think of whatever. No, there's a gay porn monthly like that that Keith used to subscribe to when we met.
Yeah.
And I was gonna make a joke about that, but I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, I ordered. It was
called Gay Porn Monthly.
Yeah, Gay Porn Monthly. It comes in a brown bag. It comes in a brown envelope, but in big black letters it says Gay Porn Monthly on the front.
Nice.
But yeah, I got the Michael Keaton Batman costume out of like a Game Pro, and in the Game Pro, the picture that came with it was like the legit costume. So I'm all like excited. I'm like, oh, I'm about to get the like real ass Batman costume, and it comes in and it's like just all like styrofoam,
Yes.
like not even, but it's just like a T-shirt with the Batman sign on it, and like the mask, it's just like a like I don't even know how to explain it. It was just all cloth. Like
man.
It was terrible.
Bummer.
Like the ears were like
ears were
flopping.
Oh,
like a dog.
it's puppy Batman. Oh. I had a couple of those costumes. I remember one of the first years that Dean and I were old enough to go trick-or-treating, we were both cast for the ghost. It's an adorable baby picture proving that. And it was the same kind of like plastic costume mask. Yeah. I also remember one year, and I don't know who was who. I think I was the Ewok and Deanne was Yoda. I'm pretty sure. Another year, I don't remember what Deanne was, but I was a Transformer and Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime, yeah.
And I remember that year, you talking about your mask being really tight. I just remember, like, while I was trick-or-treating, the condensation that was collecting from my breath was making me feel, as a child, like I was going to have a nervous breakdown. And I remember not being like, is this worth it? Why am I even doing this? Like,
An existential crisis.
yeah, for real. I after that, had a really hard time trick-or-treating.
Like, I'm making a fool of myself right now.
Yeah, I really was super ambivalent about trick-or-treating after that. But
Were you guys ever like, you hear like the urban legends of like people fucking with Halloween candy and like were your parents obsessive with checking the candy?
We had to check all of our candy every piece every year.
They weren't obsessive, but if somebody gave me fruit, they were like, "Don't, you're throwing that away."
Anything that wasn't in a wrapper, my mom immediately threw in the fucking garbage.
If a wrapper was even questionably loose, we had to throw that piece away.
She went through every like if the seam was fucking ripped, anything. I'm like, you're throwing away Reese's cups, like
I've never understood that panic because, okay, let's say I'm some kind of sicko who wants to harm children. This seems like a really low payoff because you don't know who's going to ever eat that piece or if you're ever going to hear about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's just kind of a bummer. Like, it just seems like a lot of effort for a shaky, if any, payoff.
You see a news story where it was like an adult was harmed by eating it, and then like the person's like, I gotta step my game up, man.
Right.
Yeah.
That was meant for
Exactly.
a fucking kid.
Yeah.
I can't be out here hurting adults. Like I gotta.
I just can't imagine like having the fortitude to shove razor blades into candy bars, rewrap them, and then give them to children, and not want to see some results.
Well, that's another thing. That's why I said, like, do you think it's ever really happened?
I
Like,
really don't.
I don't know. I would.
It just seems like a thing that was like said once, and then it was just like, well, we got to make sure that doesn't happen.
I
Like,
bet maybe like one time something like very minor was found in some candy, and then it just turned into like kids like $1.50ing themselves on like Reese's cups.
It's probably something from some stupid movie. But really, most people who like participate in Halloween are like nice. Like, they want to give kids candy. They like seeing kids' costumes. Like, I just don't think most nefarious assholes have anything to do with that. Again, like, if you want to harm a child, like, it just seems like a really roundabout way to do it with low payoff.
If you want to harm a child, just send them to a football camp in a college near you.
Get in your fucking van, like the old school pedophiles, and do it the real way.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be lazy ass razor blade shoving fools.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Halloween because like even like as an adult, I just like I was talking to my girlfriend about this the other day. Like I don't believe in ghosts, but I like I like scary stories and like going to like, cuz like when I was probably like 19 years old, and like my friend Sean lived in Waterford, and there was this abandoned insane asylum that was there, and we would go there. Like we went there like 3 years in a row on Halloween, and you could get inside, but we like never like we just walked around it, and we were just like I was like I want to go inside, but I'm like because it was spooky looking. And it was like,
Northfield or something like that?
what's that?
I know what place you're talking about. I never went there.
Yeah,
Did you say Northfield?
It's Northville, Eloise Mental Institute.
this
Yeah.
one was different. It was in Waterford,
But the one I'm talking about, the real place, right?
that one's still there.
Oh, that's still a real place?
That's the one that has like the tunnel system that people go into underground tunnels and stuff. They have like the one in Northville was like, I think it's like 4 separate buildings, but that has this whole elaborate tunnel system. But because they would transport patients from building to building underground through the tunnels.
That's not disturbing.
Yeah, but there was like that's the thing is like like there's like skinhead meetings in the tunnels and stuff, and there's like all kinds of like crazy graffiti in the tunnels and stuff.
There's a tunnel system between a couple buildings downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took us on a tour when I hired in at my current job, which I would like to leave anonymous. But
We've said it before.
not on this podcast.
No.
But yeah, they took us on a tour, and they like brought us to the entrance of the tunnels, and they were like, "These tunnels take you to other buildings. We're not going to let you go there."
Something's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would go there and just like I like being like in the vicinity of like where, like even if like I am not like I can feel a presence or like it's it's haunted or
Yeah.
it's just like weird shit probably happened and it's like it's kind of gives you a creepy feeling.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I was
Especially in
watching.
an insane asylum, because that
Yeah.
shit was fucked up. For sure.
I had friends that have like gone to the Northville one and like there's still gurneys and shit in there, like like just like in the hallway tipped over and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was at Eloise. We snuck in there when we were 16, 17 years old, and there were gurneys that you could see there, and there was patients' records scattered all around the place too.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah,
That's some HIPAA violation shit right there.
Did you go in the tunnels?
we went
No?
in through the tunnels, and we were in Eloise for maybe 10 minutes. We were way too spooked out.
I like that you're on a first name basis, though.
Eloise. You and Eloise. We were hanging out with Eloise, and
We were in her.
Yeah, I think it's still there. I've heard it might have been torn down, but
No, it's still there.
It's still there.
They filmed a horror movie there not too long ago. It's like heavily patrolled by the state police, though. Like, they don't want any trespassing at all.
Well, I'm sure everybody tries to get in there, like the train station.
Yeah.
People like that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not into gory stuff or scary stuff, and I don't like to be spooked or scared. I think partly because I'm like, humanity's horrible enough.
Yeah.
Like, the real life is horrifying and scary enough.
You told me once that you had a job once, and it was like a team building exercise that they make you go to Erebus.
Yes. Yes. That is true.
What's
Yep.
Erebus?
That's the biggest haunted house in the world, Mike. At the,
Yeah, in Pontiac.
Four level one in Pontiac.
Yeah.
They sure did. I hated it. I hated it.
Laura's not participating.
Everybody at work keeps talking about doing one of those like panic rooms.
Yeah.
Oh, I did one of those too, like a puzzle room.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like nervous inducing. But let me back up to this. I don't know how you pronounce it. The horror house, haunted house.
Erebus.
The place I worked was an animal hospital, and it was a small staff, really good team. And Donna, the receptionist, remembers this night best probably by how hard I was shoving my face into the back of her jacket so that I couldn't see or hear anything. I remember her afterwards talking to other staff members being like, oh, the poor thing. She was so scared. She didn't know I could hear her. She was talking about me. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. And the panic room thing, mostly it just was like a series of puzzles you had to solve. So I can't remember what they called it, but like,
Or the escape room or
An
whatever it's
escape
called.
room.
Yeah.
My mom's really nerdy, so she likes puzzles and stuff. So we're like, well, we'll take her to this for her birthday. And I remember like they give you one riddle to start, and then you're supposed to look around the room for clues. To me, it mostly looked like a children's playroom. There's a lot of toys in there. And I remember, is everything okay? Okay. I remember that my mom and my sister-in-law read the first clue, and then we're like, okay, and busily started looking for clues. And my sister Deanna and I were just like, none of that made any sense. And so the whole time basically just went, I guess I'll look over here. We were useless. Like if this was something where you died at the
It's
end.
like, nope.
Yeah, I couldn't understand. She's like, well, this rhymes with this, and that's this color, and these things over here. I'm like, I
So what is
hate
it like
this.
once you put together like a riddle and it's like solve something, then you're like one step closer to getting out of the room.
Exactly. Yeah, you have, and then that gives you a clue.
Is there
to
any
the
real
next thing.
consequence? Like,
I don't really know.
Jigsaw
Like I'm
comes out and
assuming
kills
that
you
they
at the
kill
end.
you point blank. Yeah.
yeah.
I just was like, oh, I hate every minute of this.
Yeah.
Mostly because it was boring. Not really because I was like that anxious. I just was like, I am useless. I'm not good at riddles or puzzles, it turns out.
Do they still do like those? I remember when I was a kid, like you would see on a sitcom, like the murder mystery dinners.
Oh yeah, we did that at work. It was the worst.
It sucked.
It is the worst.
I always
Was
wanted
it on
to
the
do
Detroit Princess?
No, we
Cruise ship?
No, we did
someone
it.
actually gets killed.
No, we did it. Yeah, we did it on a. We did it at. It was in Greektown Casino. It was just in like a private ballroom, and it was awful. Like these people, they're local actors, and they take it way too serious.
They sure do.
God.
They sure do.
It is the worst experience. The girl that was like the MC, she was trying to like kind of do like jokes up front, and like nothing was landing, but she was still trying to hold up like her diva persona, and it was just like, you suck.
Great,
Like
great.
you are awful.
How long ago did you do that?
I think it was in like May.
Oh, so very recently.
Yeah,
Oh my
recently,
goodness.
Yeah, and
I
the
would
thing is, like, they pick random people in the like who aren't part of the production to be characters.
Yeah.
So they picked me as I was one of the characters. So like I was this like world famous actor, and I had to like, they gave me this little pamphlet that I had to like memorize all this shit
And, like
about.
world famous actor, this will be easy.
Yeah. I'm like,
Alex says
just
that down
be
pat.
myself.
He means it.
But yeah, it's those are the worst. I hope I never have to do that again.
The same animal hospital that I worked at, who did the haunted house, that's what we did the next year. Like now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, oh, clearly these women were trying to like pair us against each other.
Yeah.
See who could survive.
So you did a murder mystery dinner thing?
Yeah. It was on the Detroit Princess. And honestly, the only thing I can remember is that as soon as the boat like undocked and we were moving, just feeling this wave of panic and wanting to get off the boat. and feeling like there was nothing there that I could really eat, and then being really stressed out. And I don't remember literally anything about the play. I just remember feeling a little bit sorry for the actors because I was like, this seems horrible. I hope you guys are getting paid, because everyone here is really, really just grimacing through their teeth. No one's enjoying this.
Yeah.
And the mystery didn't even make sense. Like it was the most elementary, like surface level. This happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened.
Did they stage a murder or something?
Yeah, the somebody gets
Did
murdered.
the lights go out and then the lights turned on and there's a dead person there?
Yes, it did.
Really? They really do
Just
that?
like sitcoms.
Yeah, it was so bad.
And they're like, wait, this person's actually dead.
Yeah, it was awful.
I think a person who's doctored up should like literally be like hanging out like in the ceiling, and then the light should go off and they should just free fall onto a table, and then the lights come back on. That would make me happy.
The food was good.
That's
though,
dedication.
The food was good.
The food was
Well,
good.
you had that going for you. We did not. I remember I ate like a roll. Honestly, the food may have been amazing, but I probably just wanted a roll.
I'll just have.
She's like, they actually had Wolfgang Puck there. He was serving us.
Look, I remember hearing about him catering an event and people getting hepatitis. So I don't really.
No, that
don't
was
be throwing around that name.
No, that was him giving people hepatitis after the dinner.
Oh well, either way, I'm not 100% sure of transmission.
with his
But
glove made of his aunt's insulin needles.
nice. Here, I thought it might have been like the Sprouts, but you're probably right.
I thought when I was a kid, I thought that would be a cool thing to do. But
I love your dedication to
Murder
Halloween.
mystery.
I want to be a detective. Like I've always I want to be.
Well, you can just go online and find an unsolved mystery and just start trying to solve it.
Yeah, I can be.
It's that
web
simple,
sleuth.
Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Web sleuth.
Web sleuth. Do a podcast. I don't think that's ever been done, right?
Nope.
There's no. I don't think there's any true crime podcasts. You can just do that. We'll find cold cases and just give our fucking dumb theories.
Yeah,
about
and
it.
then we'll be rich, right? Isn't that how that works?
We should just list this as a true crime podcast.
We totally should. That's a great idea.
The true crime is us stealing your time.
Like,
We've talked about serial killers in this
that was
episode.
the
That counts.
Stupidest thing you've ever said.
That's why I said it. It's called comedy, Ray. That's
true.
irony, okay?
That would work for one episode. You know,
Yeah.
these two gay people and this other guy that just says horrible things.
Yep. That's us in a nutshell.
That should have been the name of the podcast.
These two gay people and one guy who says horrible
Yeah.
things.
And then one guy that gives hand signals while he's holding a microphone.
And he'll shake his head no, just very affirmatively. You try to say that fracking is the extraction of natural gases.
You're still mad about that.
No, it's a callback. It's just
also,
jokes, Ginger.
You're also wearing headphones, so you clearly heard her when she was saying that fracking is the thing that you came back with and told her that it is.
I'm just giving you a hard time, Mike. I have to. They told me I have to. They said if I'm going to be on this podcast, I have to be. What did you say? I have to. What was it? Bust his balls. That's what they said. So
How's it go again? Bust his balls.
Bust his balls.
sorry about the ball busting.
Silence.
I was
We
we
should
should how long
start-
it went.
We should start writing ideas down before we come in.
We were going pretty good for a little while.
Yeah, we
right?
were, but we hit some. We right
You're
now.
going to
we're
edit
we're
all
on a
this
rough
out,
patch.
right?
We're keeping this true to form here. We're not doing this this editing kind of. This is real art.
Just cut something cool that I said earlier, and then we'll put it in that silent part, and it'll just sound like another callback.
I'll just do that with every silent part. I'll take the worst out of context quote that all of us have said and just put it into the silence.
That sounds fine.
So you guys, Laura, you hate celebrating Halloween as an adult, right?
No, I don't hate it. I mean, honestly, it's a holiday I feel really comfortable with. I just have no interest in dressing up at all. I do not want to put on a costume. I've done it. It just makes me feel really uncomfortable. I love when people get really into it and do a really nice job. I always cringe when people are like, look, I have a store-bought costume on. I'm just like, why did you even bother? I don't know. Maybe that's judgmental, but have fun, you guys. Do whatever you want. It's fine. But I really like when people, I mean, there's a lot of art in it, and I find that really impressive. Like when people do really amazing costumes and stuff and really get into it, and clearly it's something they really are into, but I just don't want to.
They want to do a group costume at work, and I don't, because I don't really want.
Difficult.
I don't want to put any effort. There's
no such thing as a good group costume.
I know. I don't want to put any.
Been done.
I just don't want to put
What do
any
they want
effort
you to
into.
be?
We're gonna be Cards Against Humanity.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible, and it's going to take you so much time to make that
I don't
horrible
know how
costume.
you work in an office.
I know. It's awful. It's very awful. My suggestion was that we all just get cat ears and just be the cast of Cats.
Yeah, that's
very
easier.
low maintenance, no effort.
I would have put in my resignation, but be like, nope, I quit. I can't do this. No group costumes. I worked in offices that got way into Halloween, and I appreciated the fact that people did that. I'm just in it for the candy. I don't want anything else to do with it. But yeah, I mean, there's candy involved. You can't dislike a holiday that involves that much candy.
Do you like nerds? Candy nerds?
I do, as somebody who's, almost 40 and doesn't have great teeth.
Yeah.
I've learned that sour stuff that they use on candy is really bad for your enamel. So I'm like, okay, Laura, if you're going to cut one candy out of your life, if you're going to make your life even slightly more healthy, maybe you don't need nerds. But that's not to say if you handed me a little box and shook them, I would totally eat them.
There's 2 in the kitchen.
Oh, God damn it.
Do you guys know?
I'm bringing them home with me.
Do you guys know what high chews are?
No.
The candies.
High chews?
Yeah, they're like.
What is it again?
High chew.
High, like high.
H-I chew.
Okay. No.
They're kind of like bite-sized airheads almost, and they had them at Chuck E. Finster a couple weeks ago, and I am 100% addicted now. I cannot find them anywhere though.
High chews.
I'm not a big. I was never a big candy person. Like, I mean, when I was a kid, I liked, I would eat it. Like, I don't like it now. But and I don't smoke weed very often. But when I'm high, like candy, just like
Oh yeah.
It's like explosive almost. Like, it's insane. Like how different it is when you eat candy. Like something sour. Like I can't stop eating. Like, I just want the flavor in my mouth. Like.
Yeah.
I was when I was just saying like the flavors of candy. I was like, I work with this fucking idiot of a fucking. This guy's just a fucking moron, and we just hired us like a young girl. Like, she works in the shipping department, and she's. I mean, it's just I don't find her attractive, but I could see other people. She's got like that black and blonde like that hair, and I don't know, like I don't know, she's not my type, but I could see someone thinking she's attractive, and like this guy just won't fucking leave her alone.
Oh cool, I'm sure she loves that.
Yeah, so he first couple days working there, like he's like, let me take you to lunch, and there's a pizza place like almost in the parking lot of our our shop. It's like just right around the corner, and I went there to get food, and they were there eating, and she ordered a euro, and he didn't know what it was. He's like, what is it? What did you get? And she's like, it's a euro. He's like, what is that? And she's like, it's just meat and a pita. And he said, what flavor is it?
What
flavor is the meat?
Lemon twist.
And I'm like, no, meat's not a flavor. Like,
Wow.
It is.
and she looked at him. She goes, lamb? Like, I guess. I don't know. It's lamb.
What flavor is it?
What flavor?
It is a Hawaiian punch.
Like,
There's a toothpaste that I use on my dogs, and it says on the container that it is mint scented, beef flavored. And I just don't fucking buy it for a second.
Yeah.
And I've tried to smell it to like, does it have any, am I smelling mint? Am I smelling meat? I don't know. It doesn't. Mint scented. beef flavored.
Are you supposed
That's
to
not
eat-
possible. You
Are
guys
you-
are. That's not reality.
Are you supposed to eat lamb with like? Don't you get mint flavored jelly
Yeah,
with
mint
lamb
jelly.
Yeah,
chops?
yeah.
That's funny.
So it should be lamb
when
flavored.
when I go to the dentist and they like for my teeth cleaning, one of the flavor options for like the stuff that their toothpaste or whatever is chocolate.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's weird.
Yeah, that I'm
for
not-
like the stuff they put on the little white rubber thing.
yeah,
that they,
yeah,
it's
one of,
gritty.
one of the flavors is chocolate.
No,
I'm
don't
like,
ruin chocolate
I
for
don't-
me.
Yeah, I'm like that's. I want my mouth to feel clean after this. Like that's not gonna make it feel clean.
No, just go with mint. It's gonna be bad
Yeah,
anyway.
Chocolate breath. Like no.
Yeah,
not-
I know.
Thank you.
Really, like that's gross.
You don't want
I always
that.
go with spearmint.
You can't go make out with dudes at the bathhouse with fucking chocolate breath.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
know.
gonna-
The bathhouse does have a like a water fountain that shoots out mouthwash.
Wow, that sounds like something out of a John Waters movie.
Does it kill bacteria?
They water it down though, so it's not as strong, but still.
Do guys just put their penises in it?
No, you just go get a little, you mouthwash your mouth and then you put a penis in your mouth.
Okay,
That's
I don't know.
like
I
an
don't know how
old
this works.
myth about Tom Jones. I think it might have been in a book about him that he would like just marinate his dick in Listerine because it would desensitize it and he could fuck longer.
Now, I did not know that when I wrote my joke where that's one of my punchlines.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's the joke about Grindr.
Yeah.
When I'm like, I meet up with a guy, go back to his place, 5 minutes, or we meet up in a 7-Eleven, 5 minutes later, we're going back to his place. 5 minutes after that, I'm in his bathroom rinsing my dick off with Listerine.
But it's
That must
different,
be
though.
why I assume
You're
people
not-
put their penises in the drinking fountain.
My implication is
That's
like
your
I'm
joke.
trying to get like the gonorrhea off.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I was assuming would be
Yeah.
the drinking fountain's purpose.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
oh,
Because doesn't it say it kills like 99.9% of bacteria
Yes.
in a bottle? Yeah.
sure does.
Yeah, so you're cleaning your dick, but
Yeah.
he's like using it to
He could also
cut
just
down the sensation.
he could also just like jerk off before he has like
You should probably like tweet at him.
Tom Jones.
Yeah, he's probably on
Like,
Twitter.
hey
I'm
Tom, you're
assuming
doing
most
this
people
all
are.
wrong, man.
Hey,
Come on,
Tom
this is-
Jones.
I got some pointers for you.
Just
This
jerk
Listerine
off.
stuff. This is crazy. You gotta knock that off.
I heard about this marinating. It doesn't make sense to me, but
As a gay man,
Here's a few problems. Let me number one.
but that doesn't make your just jerking off before you have sex with somebody doesn't make your dick taste like cool mint.
Why are you
Listerine.
raising your hand at me?
I'm just stretching out my arm.
Oh.
Is that okay?
I don't
stop
know.
policing
I have
Ray's
a question.
movements.
That's what, yes, Ray. Well, wait, what were you asking though? If you just jerking off doesn't make you sensitive enough or
I
something?
said it doesn't make your dick taste like cool mint Listerine.
Oh,
You
of course,
marinate
all
it.
the time. It's all about your diet. If you eat pineapple, it makes it taste like spearmint.
No, it doesn't.
It's spearmint.
That was like 12. That was like Ray's uncle telling him that
Yeah.
when he was like 12. He's like, no, it doesn't.
Shut up.
It's spearmint scented pineapple flavored. That's how that works. Gross.
Mine
Thanks.
is meat
I'm gonna have
flavored for sure.
nightmares. So gross.
He's like, mine is gyro flavored.
Why is this happening?
What flavor is that gyro?
Ray's dick. That's the flavor.
But I was when we got on a tangent there talking about penises and mouthwash. But
Boys.
we were talking about when I asked you if you hated celebrating Halloween and stuff. Me and Alex have to do the creepy cheapy.
I told
You've
Oh
been to that?
yeah, I did go to that once.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we because Chad's adding
Yeah.
comedians to
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, I
Have to be Sam Kinison, and
Why-
I'm having so much trouble
oh
listening to it.
Why don't you
Yeah.
just do Carlin?
I didn't think I could pull Carlin off.
Here's
but
the
you
thing.
think you can pull Sam Kinison off?
No, I don't. Not at all. I don't know.
I'm guessing this
You
event
think
has gotten
he was
pretty
he
big.
was rushing me. Like he's like, I need a name, and I was like, fucking Kinison.
You
I
could have
don't-
did Dangerfield.
No. I don't want to because you can't do Dangerfield with a beard. Like you gotta look like the person a little bit. I don't want to shave.
I'm not shaving. Geraldo's got a 5 o'clock shadow. I'm not.
You could just buzz it.
I'm not. No. I've
not
taken me too
shaving
long
either.
to get to this point, and I'm like at the point where like it's gonna almost be back to where I want it to be,
Yeah.
and I'm not going back.
Here's the thing. Your
Geraldo's
beards are
just gonna be
super
bearded.
interesting. But one of the times that I went to Creepy Cheapy, the first time I ever went was the very first year I moved back to Detroit. And it was one of the first years that they did it, so it wasn't super crazy. And I remember I saw a local band called Prussia play as the Smiths, and it was precious, and I loved it. And I was wearing I was a very scantily clad Robin of Batman and Robin. And I did that to
slutty
myself.
Robin.
Yeah, I basically was, yeah.
So just Robin.
Yeah. And then the next year I went...
Gay Robin.
Next year I went, Jamie and I went as Laverne and Shirley.
That rules.
And we had gone to Theater Bazaar like 2 nights before with the same costumes. Because I was like, if we're going outside, this is the last year I was outside, I need to wear long johns. Like, I'm not going to be in some little costume. So I'm like, Laverne and Shirley. At Theater Bazaar, like, people were loving us. They're like, Laverne and Shirley. Like, this nun asked me to smoke weed with her. It was great.
Just like the show.
At Creepy Cheapy, we realized how young the crowd skewed.
Yeah.
Because people were like, are you guys, like, cleaning ladies? Like, I'm like, you fucking young assholes. They were all so drunk.
So
but
you were
guys
like
will have
Laverne
fun.
and Shirley at work?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the lab coats and yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's the last time I dressed up as an adult, and I'm like, I'm officially done.
So you were Shirley?
Mm-hmm.
I hope she was drinking milk and Pepsi then.
She did not have a beverage, but she did like do the L on her coat and stuff. Jamie did a nice job on the coats. I'd like to give a shout out to my ex-girlfriend and the job she did on our Halloween costumes. Good work.
Good job, Jamie.
I remember I tried milk and Pepsi one time because of Laverne and Shirley.
No.
Mixed together?
Yeah.
Is that a thing they did?
Yeah, it was something that
Laverne,
she drank.
Laverne would always drink milk and Pepsi.
Gross.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
All that Pepsi ruining that delicious milk.
But I'm sure no matter what comedians you do, that people will be drunk enough that they'll take it in thusly.
I'm fully expecting like no one to pay attention.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna probably be a train. I mean, we should probably explain. Like we said, creepy cheapy. Like people listening to this might not know. It's just basically a big Halloween party, and local bands dress up like real famous bands and just play cover sets.
Yep. And it's like really cheap to get
Yeah,
in.
it's $5.
So it attracts a lot of young people who want to drink a lot, because
Lots
that's
of
the other
young,
thing.
drunk
That's the only
people.
Halloween thing. I'm like, I'm not going out partying on Halloween. I just don't have. I hardly have the patience for like people on a regular bar night. Like,
Oh yeah.
Halloween is like an amateur night that I just can't tolerate as a mostly sober person.
It's like the night before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly.
God,
I'm just
yeah.
like, but it's worse because everyone's in costume, so they feel like they can get away with being like fucking obnoxious, and I just can't handle it.
Or they feel like they can get away with murder.
Yeah, because it's Halloween, so you might as well kill someone.
Yeah. I mean, why that
everybody
way
has to solve it?
Ray will solve it. Don't kill anyone. He'll figure it out that it was you.
I'll be a detective. I'll be a detective for Halloween.
Ray will be a pet dick.
Oh boy.
Oh, I get it.
All right.